What's going on, guys? So with fall weather right around the corner, I'm starting to gear towards more spicy fragrances. Hell, I'm wearing a spicier tobacco fragrance today, and Amouage Boundless. And it got me thinking, what's some of the spicy fragrances I'm excited to wear this particular fall going into winter seasons that are up ahead? So I compiled a list of 10 of my personal favorites, and I want to talk to you about them. So stay tuned. While admittedly there's a few spicier fragrances in this line that I enjoy, most notably the hot pepper flanker from Azzaro, but I have to go with Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. I am just a massive fan of this fragrance. Stays true to the original's DNA with that spicy aromatic barbershop style, a little bit more on the boozy side with a healthy dose of cinnamon that gives this warm and spicy accord that is absolutely gorgeous to cut through the cold. Still has a bit of elegance and refinement to the scent profile, but it's not so serious that it doesn't go well with like a polo shirt, for example. I've worn it with a t-shirt as well. It can be on the more casual side, but it definitely begs you to dress it up a little bit more than that because there's a bit of a seriousness to it. The booziness kind of grounds it to have a little bit more of a playful edge to it, but like I said, the heft of spice and the strong aromatic tones definitely adds a little bit of refinement. Performance is fantastic on this scent, and you can find this one around 40 bucks from discounters online, sometimes even $35 if you get lucky, like I did when I got it a while back. But really good stuff, definitely one of the spicy fragrances I'm looking forward to reaching for towards the end of this season, moving into fall and winter. Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. So speaking of Amouage, yes, I'm wearing an Amouage fragrance today, but one that kind of dials up the spice just a little bit more. It's more of a drier spice, still has a tobacco note in it, though not quite as prominent as what I'm wearing today. We're talking about Amouage's Journey Man. This is an absolute enthusiast fragrance right here. This is very dry and spicy and just magical. The tobacco here is actually smoother and less earthy than you would anticipate it to be. There's a nice smoky incense nuance. There's Sichuan pepper in the top that provides a nice fresh spice that doesn't fleet too quickly. Sichuan pepper is known to kind of hit and then disappear and fleet and fade to the background. They did such a good job with balancing it, and the amount that they put, it kind of hangs out for a little while. There's other spices in here besides that, but it definitely has more, like I said, that dry, spicy appeal. This one's definitely a bit more elegant than even, but I don't think it's quite as dressy as Azzaro Pour Homme Intense, as weird as that may sound. This actually does very well casually in cooler weather. This is definitely going to cut through the cold. When I put these fragrances together last night, I sprayed this on my hand, and up until me washing it off this morning, it was still there. It had been on my hand for every bit of like 14 or 15 hours at that point. Still smelled pretty strong too. It was not a faint skin scent. This stuff is a fantastic performer. Amouage is known to have great performance in their fragrances. Original scent DNAs, high quality, well blended. Everything that I've come to expect from them anyways, and this one is nothing short of amazing. Spicy fragrance lovers, this is a must try. This is an absolute must try if spicy fragrances is your forte. This is probably my favorite spicy fragrance that I've tried anyways from Amouage. I do have a few. Epic Man's got a good dose of spice. Boundless, like I'm wearing today, has a good dose of spice, but this is cream of the crop when it comes to this just gorgeous juniper heavy aromatic tone with this dry Sichuan pepper, almost nutmeg type of feel in the heart, with this slightly earthy but still kind of smooth tobacco. I know it's kind of a strange way I'm describing it, but this fragrance is absolutely fantastic. Get a sample and try this one. Like I said, if you love spicy fragrances, you need to try this. It's Amouage Journey Man. One of the better spicy designers to come out in recent memory. It's polarizing. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's a nuclear beast. It's Dior Sauvage Elixir. Here you get a nice dose of nutmeg. I believe it's some cardamom as well. I forgot what the other spice is. You have some lavender and some sandalwood. You get this nice aromatic and creamy feel. God, this smells so good. You don't get a big ambroxan hit. It's ever so faintly in the backdrop, the original's DNA. Ambroxan's not listed in here, but it definitely comes across as a gorgeous, spicy, aromatic, woody beast. This fragrance is outrageous in performance on my skin. You don't need a lot of sprays. This is a 4 to 5 spray max fragrance for me. I know some people that'll say that's crazy, but there's some people out there that spray this thing 10 to 15 times. That's crazy to me. But I could see where some that just don't like to overwhelm others would go 2 to 3 sprays on this fragrance, because it's got enough performance to where even at 2 to 3 sprays, people are going to smell you. This stuff is outrageously strong. Very expensive for a 60 ml. They just recently, at the recording of this, released a 100 milliliter bottle that's very pricey. But the good thing is, if you're not the heavy sprayer type, you're on the moderate side with your sprays because the fragrance is so powerful. It'll last you a really long time because, like I said, you can get away with 2 to 3 sprays easily with this fragrance. I'm more in the 4 to 5 spray range. And it's absolutely great for those of you that really like spicy fragrances. Here it's a little bit more on the drier side because the nutmeg does stand out a bit here. The lavender kind of smooths things out to where it just doesn't become too dry of a fragrance, to where it has a wood shop type of vibe, that dry woody smell, which in some fragrances nutmeg can do that to the scent profile. Here it's balanced pretty well with the lavender to kind of smooth things over to where it doesn't get too dry. But it's a nuclear performer in my experience, and it's very spicy. Woody spicy is the best classification for this because that is the dominating things you will smell. Spicy accords and a nice layer of woods. The nutmeg has a bit of a dry, spicy wood tone, and then you have that creamy sandalwood. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. It's Dior Sauvage Elixir. One that's kind of quintessential fall season for me. It's warm and spicy. It's a little sweet. It's got a smooth tobacco. It's got a very designer type of smell to it. Like, it doesn't smell natural in any way, but damn does it smell good. A lot of cinnamon here in 1 million Prive. I believe this is discontinued. I do have another 50 ml besides this one. It'll take me God knows how long to go through this one. God, I love how it smells because I kind of strictly wear this in the fall, and it may only get a handful at best of wearings per year from me because I'm so situational, especially when I dub something perfect for a specific setting or season, which this is ideal. Casually, in my opinion, goes great casually in the fall. This smells like fall season, autumn in a bottle. This is orange, faded reds, yellows, browns, those colors, the fall autumn season colors, Thanksgiving color scheme is what I think when I smell this fragrance. Performance is well above average without being an overwhelming beast. It does project pretty good, and I do get about 7 to 8 hours on my skin, maybe even a little better sometimes on those cooler fall days. I might even get 9 to 10 hours. Like I said, I believe it's to be discontinued at this point, but if you have a bottle of this, you know how good it is. This is my favorite version of 1 million, with Lucky being my number 2 in the line. This is gorgeous. This is not the spiciest of fragrances, but warm and spicy is one of the main accords that you're going to get from this. You will get a little bit of sweetness. The tobacco, like I said, is more on the smooth side, not earthy, nothing challenging about this. Just an absolute delight if you're into spicy fragrances. Again, that's 1 million Prive from Paco Rabanne. Next is my favorite spicy fragrance from my favorite little niche indie house. We're talking about Happyland Studios. This is Diabolique. Fall season, again, about to move into that weather, starting to get that weather already. Hell, that's why I'm wearing Amouage Boundless today. Creamy, spicy, a little earthy, but more so very warm and spicy. This is a spicy bomb of a scent, not to be confused with Spicebomb. It's just got a large amount of spice to it. There's fresh spicy accords, settles into a much more warm and creamy spicy tone. Just beautiful stuff. Performance is outrageous on this fragrance. This is sample worthy. Another one of those fragrances that if you're really into spicy, this is the one to try from Happyland Studio. If you were looking to kind of dive into the house and wasn't really sure where to start with getting a sample, if you like spicy, which you probably do if you're watching this video, this would be the one. There's a lot of great offerings from the house, but this is the spicy fragrance lovers enthusiast level fragrance, I guess you could say. It doesn't really smell like anything else. I've never smelled anything that kind of resembles the scent profile. So as original as it gets for me. I'm not saying there's nothing out there that doesn't resemble it. I've just never smelled it. And like I said, oil concentration's 30 plus. I don't remember exactly what it is. But projection is on the heavy side, especially in the first 2 to 3 hours. The sillage is monstrous because of the oil concentration, and it's going to stick to your skin forever. Pretty much until you take a shower, you're going to smell this fragrance. Again, that's Diabolique from Happyland Studio. Speaking of a spicy bomb of a fragrance, let's talk about one of the better, more red-hot spiced Spicebomb flankers. We're talking about Infrared. At the recording of this video, this is still the newest release. They've yet to really put anything out on a new fragrance. I've heard rumors. I haven't seen anything officially. There may be something official out there. I just haven't seen it, of a eau de parfum version of this being the next fragrance. Wouldn't be a terrible idea, but I'd like to see them do something fresh. But I digress. This is one of the better releases in the last couple of years as well. I did really love the Night Vision EDP flanker that released the year before this one. This was one of my favorite releases of 2021. It's a damn good fragrance. It's up there for me. It's kind of down to the original Spicebomb and this one as the two highlights of the line. They're all good. You can't go wrong. Even Night Vision EDT. I like that one too. Most people don't. I do. But all of them are great spicy fragrances. Any Spicebomb fragrance could have went in this video, but I felt like the red hot chili pepper appeal of this one, kind of that cinnamon red hot's candy type of smell, but not quite as candy sweet, but it does resemble it. I think because of that, that's why it felt like this was the ideal fragrance to feature in this spicy fragrance video. But like I said, you can't go wrong with any of them. The original Spicebomb, Extreme, Night Vision, EDP, they all could have worked in here for sure. But I think this suits the video topic best, especially with the fall season on the horizon. It's just a great fragrance. This is one that I actually like to wear to dinner on occasion in the summertime. As long as you're in a climate-controlled environment, you can get away with it. It's very airy and aromatic. It doesn't come across as too heavy of a wear, though it does perform like a heavier fragrance, especially in the longevity department, more so than in projection. But really good stuff. Definitely worth the sample. If for some reason you haven't tried this one yet, I think you're missing out if you like spicy. It's Viktor and Rolf Spicebomb Infrared. Now this one's very polarizing. I've been a fan of this from the very first time I ever smelled it. I had a carded sample first, then I ended up getting a bottle. We are talking about Parfums de Marly Kalan. This is gorgeous. Beautiful zesty blood orange at the top and a lot of warm spice. And the strange, weird kind of accord that I get in here, I can't get away from it when I smell it. Think of a red rubber ball. That's weird, right? That's kind of what it reminds me of in the opening. It's strange, but oddly attractive. Like I said, very zesty blood orange, very warm and spicy. The faintest, the most faint of resemblances to Baccarat Rouge 540. I know it does get some comparisons to that. You got to look for it. It's kind of there in the backdrop, but it's more so its own thing. This is definitely a spicy delight that's quite unique. This is a unique spicy fragrance. I haven't smelled anything else like Kalan. It's, like I said, very unique in my experience. Actually, some of the notes, this is a tester, some of the notes are back here. You're looking at blood orange, black pepper, and spices. All your spicy hit up top. In the heart, lavender, orange blossom, absolute, and cashmere wood. In the base, you have moss, tonka beans, white sandalwood, and dry amber. Dry amber is a good representation of the ambery smell you get because it is on the drier side, but not quite as dry of a smell as, say, something like Journey Man from Amouage. But this is a stunner. This is a beast in performance. This is fantastic in the cold weather. And it's a bit of a head turner because the average person, the average consumer, hasn't smelled this scent profile on anyone before. Unless they happen to run across somebody wearing Kalan, or they're a fragrance enthusiast and they wear Kalan themselves. This is a bit of a unique smell to people when you pass by, so it's a bit of a conversation starter. But it's definitely worth sampling. It's very polarizing. You may hate the way this one smells, or you might be like me and absolutely love it. That's Parfums de Marly Kalan. Gotta have my favorite spicy iris fragrance in here. We're talking about Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisee. Beautiful black pepper hit in the top. Have some woods, beautiful creamy iris smell. I don't know why it's not focusing. Very strange that it's not focusing. There we go. I wanted to show that beautiful texturing to the label. This is such a good fragrance. I've been featuring it a lot lately because it's one that I'm very excited about for the fall season. The pepper here doesn't come across as a very dry black pepper smell. It doesn't dry the fragrance out at all because the iris used here is on the creamy side. So it smooths everything out. It's actually got a thick, moist type of feel to it, to be completely honest. There's a few different types of woods in here, so it's a very strong, woody, spicy, floral type of feel to this fragrance. Performance is above average without being a beast. It's got some elegance, but it's also got a bit of an edge to it, and it's mainly because of that spice. The spice, the dominating spice, especially in the top, gives it that edge for not being just another fresh iris-based fragrance, because it is powdery, it is a little creamy. It's lovely. This has some sex appeal to it. It's elegant, it dresses up well, but it's also one that I like to wear casually during the day. Like I said, because of the edge of that spice, I feel like it dresses down just as easily as it dresses up. It's good stuff. You know, there's a few flankers in this line that are really good. I love the Eau de Parfum. I love this one. The Eau de Parfum Reserve Prive. That's really good as well. Take this plus the Eau de Parfum, mix them together and add some rum. You get the Reserve Prive. You know, it's a line full of really good iris fragrances is basically how you can look at it, and they're not ridiculously priced. But if you're looking for the one with the spicy edge, you might want to check out Gentleman EDP Boisee. Basically a timeless classic when it comes to spicy fragrances at this point. I mean, I'll argue that with anyone. When it comes to Bvlgari Man in black, this is quintessential spicy fall weather type of stuff. It'd be great if it would focus, huh? That'd be really nice of it to focus. There we go. It's this specific lighting. I don't have my top-loaded LED lights on. I have a little ring light underneath. Just trying out some different lighting settings. Probably going to change this because I'm having trouble getting the camcorder to focus. But I digress. So, boozy rum, peppery spice, settles into a tuberose iris combo that's not too powdery, not too floral, more light and creamy, light woody tone. This has stages to it. Performance is above average, not a beast, not overwhelming. It's classy, it's elegant, but it's not too serious. It's geared towards the night for sure. The scent profile begs it to be an evening wear scent, but in cold weather, this stuff's great any time of day. Yeah, it's not the most casual fragrance, sure. But again, the spices kind of give it that edge to where I've worn this with a hoodie. Not the best choice with a hoodie. It doesn't completely fit the vibe. But boy, I'll tell you what, dinner dates, evening affairs, going out to, have, a nice event, a party of some sort, going to have drinks, where you're going to dress up a little bit more, this absolutely works great. It's still a great fragrance even to this day. Just like with the original Spicebomb. They've been around for years at this point. Man in Black and Spicebomb. They still get the job done, and they're quintessential to at least sample, to at least experience if you like spicy fragrance styles. This is one of the better ones ever in the designer market for sure. That's Bvlgari Man in Black. Last but not least, this is my preferred version of Bentley for Men. We're talking about Bentley for Men, the original. The reason I like this one over the Intense is it comes across as a little bit spicier and boozier than the Intense. The Intense has a nice smoky hit. It's got a lot more leather. It's still spicy and boozy, but I feel like the balance shifts greatly when you introduce the incense and that heavy smoky accord and that larger dose of leather to the fragrance. Whereas here, it's pretty well balanced. It's a little bit more versatile, but it's still a heavy hit of rum and spice. It's good stuff. Quality is there. It's cheap as hell. You can get this in the sub $30 price point, and it doesn't smell like a $30 fragrance. This is bordering niche quality for a cheap designer. Well, car company fragrance. Not really a designer, but it would go into the designer classification. This is really good stuff. This is the fragrance that started it all for Bentley Parfums, and it's my favorite Bentley fragrance still to this day. I only wear it a few times every fall and winter because it's kind of specifically great for those seasons, whether it be casually or evening appropriate, evening attire type of situations. It works across the board, especially in the winter. In the winter, I definitely wear this casually because it's very warming and it cuts through the cold really well. Just as well, pretty much, as the Intense. Yes, the Intense is stronger, but this is still a very strong fragrance that's a few dollars cheaper than the Intense, and for me personally, it suits my taste better, so I like it more than the Intense. Boozy, spicy beauty. It's Bentley for Men, the original. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. What are some of your favorite spicy fragrances? Dominated with spice. These are just 10 particular favorites of mine. I have many more because my favorite style fragrances are spicy, iris, and blue. That's my big three. As long as I have those three available to me and at my disposal to spray, I'm a happy camper. Sure, I like other things, but that's the three big ones for me for sure. Spice just screams cooler weather to me. And like I said, these are 10 of my personal favorites. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of my 10 personal favorites and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.